Hey guys, welcome to an entirely vanilla world that I'm going to be changing real quick. My idea for this video is to make my own mod pack. Now, of course, this isn't going to happen all at once, but at least, start this idea. The main general premise is I want to make something that feels like vanilla, but still expands on the progression of the normal game with new tools and armor, and of course developing unique uses for those. And my first idea has to do with mining. Right now, you mine a block, you can only mine a single block. My idea is to make a pickaxe that will break all of these blocks 3x3. It's the typical drill stuff you would see from other mod packs, but I want something that feels more vanilla and something that seems really obtainable. The balance being that it costs a ton and has less durability, but is generally more powerful. So I'm just gonna dive into it and see if I can make something. Alright, I just spent some time really quickly modeling up what the item would look like. Yeah, it's placeholder art, but it is now in the game. So as you can see, the durability I said did not save. It was meant to be around 1,800 because this is about 2031 and I thought it should be a little bit less. Speaking of which, it has a slightly slower mining speed, although it feels a lot slower. So I'm gonna double check to make sure that worked out properly, and I'm probably gonna adjust the damage and the speed to be similar to the pickaxe. So here's the first test. What it should do right now is break a block in the direction I'm facing as well as the one that I break. So like it'll break this block and the one behind it from any direction, and let's see if that actually works. This one did, and this one didn't. I don't know why I tested that direction again. Let's try this one. Nope, let's try this one. That one worked. And then let's try the ones from above. That broke the wrong direction. And that broke in the wrong direction. So clearly I have something swapped around, but the basic idea is kind of working. So now I just fixed it, and now every single time it breaks the block directly behind it for all of the different directions, including up and down, left and right, forward and back. And the next step is to make it clear all the blocks in the 3x3. Alright, I've officially done it. As you can see, as I break through here, a 3x3 of blocks in front of the mace is always being broken, no matter what direction I'm facing. And yeah, it's working really great. Only thing is that it is a perfect 3x3 every single time. I think some mods, at least that usually do this, don't do it that way, but I think I will. Just because, why not, next is probably, maybe the durability should decrease by 27, or at least maybe 9. Like, make it not great durability, but not awful. So I got a new hammer here, starts at 1,800 durability, as we know, and as I break this, it goes down to 1,791. Which means it lost 9 durability, which, I think is still fair. It's balanced. It's 3 blocks per durability instead of 1, which is like what you get with Unbreaking 3 anyway. So putting Unbreaking 3 on this would be busted? I don't know. We'll talk about enchants later. Right now I'm going to add a recipe and get this actually in the game. So I've been thinking long and hard about the recipe for this item, and I decided on something that is still really tough to make. But the idea is that people would most likely have mending at this point in the game, so it's balanced because you're only ever going to need to craft 1. And that was the recipe I decided on. Some things to note here: echo shards were thrown in just to make players have to find an ancient city and at least have ventured somewhat inside one. Lots of netherite, of course, totaling to 10 scrap, I believe. And then the blaze rod's just a stick-like item that is from the nether, so it fits like that. And then smithy template, of course, anything netherite needs to have the template upgrade. It also likes to signify how this is an upgrade to a pickaxe. With this balancing, I might want to make the hammer a better item, but in reality I think the enchantments that I'm planning on making will make the netherite hammer a better item. So here's something funny I discovered. The way that I have currently programmed the hammer, the only block that actually needs to be breakable is the first one. it will just take care of the rest of them for you, which obviously is a problem, and I'm actually going to work on fixing that now. And as you see here, none of these break, and that's intentional. And so the next thing I want to look at is some unique enchantments. I'm thinking stuff that will make it so if I have something like this and I were to mine this block, instead of, you know, you can make it like a veined enchantment and it will only mine similar blocks. So like this would keep the cobblestone block there. I was thinking ones that, you know, expand the radius or teleport all the items you break to you, maybe. And I'm gonna look into those. So I've been at it, made my first enchantment called Vein, and it does what you think. If I broke this copper here, only the copper blocks break inside the cube. Same with this coal, and you can already see that it's gonna be pretty useful, especially with caving, and especially once I get a bigger radius, which is gonna be the next enchantment that I'm gonna work on here. Alright, so this is gonna be my first time testing the new enchantments here. I have area 1 and area 2. So the first, of course, normal hammer works perfectly fine. Level 2 works perfectly right. That's actually a big shock. And then here's area 2. This should clear a 7x7 area, and it almost worked, except I did something wrong because this is still here. Oh, and it took away my button. Okay, that is proof. I know exactly what it is, so I'll fix that real quick. But it looks like we do have these enchantments on the way. Alright, and as you can see here, it now works perfectly. All the blocks were broken by area 2, and this should be the right shape now. It was a little different before. My only concern is, if we watch this again, whenever I break that, the game gets like a little noticeable lag, and I think I know why. It's because it's programmed kind of bad. Oh, and one last thing I should mention, the durability does decrease a lot more with this 7x7. There seems to be a glitch in the audio system when I break stuff. But as you can tell, with just a little bit of usage, my hammer is already getting very low. Last thing I want to show off is that area and vein do mix. As you can see here, when I mine the dripstone, it only gets rid of the dripstone. And that is very useful for mining whole veins, especially really big ones like copper. Alright, so I've been at work with the magnetism enchantment, and as you see here, it all teleports to you and immediately goes into your inventory. And it works with all types of hammers currently. The only thing is you can notice that there's a bit of lag now when breaking blocks. That could be due to just my code being bad, or just a lot is going on. You know, 343 blocks are being broken, and then 343 items are being teleported to me, and then 343 items are being modified to be picked up instantly, all within one frame. I'm trying to make this enchantment work for all tools, and I've been going through just the worst bug fixing session ever, as it's just not working currently, as you can tell. And I can't even get it to detect that the item I'm holding is enchanted, and that's pretty bad. I'm gonna keep at it. Alright, and I just fixed it now, so this nether pickaxe with magnetism is picking up all the blocks that I'm mining and putting in my inventory. Only issue is that it does technically break the block twice. I don't know if you could hear it, but this sounds different than this. And that's because it's technically mining the block twice. And I'm having that issue with the hammer too, and I think that's why it's so loud. So I'm going to try to work on fixing that. And then also, I don't know if fortune works with this yet, like with ore blocks, and I want to test that. Here we go. This has fortune 3 and magnetism. Does this give me fortune effects? It doesn't. I'll look into see if I can implement that. If not, then I'm gonna call it a feature and say you can't have both enchantments. Alright, so I've been at it for a while trying to figure out the best way to implement these enchantments into the game. Now currently you can in fact enchant and get them, just like I did with that one, although they're included in all these other pools and it makes it really hard to get. Hammers are enchantable, but I've only been able to find unbreaking inside their pools. Except of course that one rare time where I just found the vein enchantment and got area off of it. Okay, well they are rare and I didn't realize that. So those are some numbers I have to tinker with. Now, some ideas I had was, instead of having it come through the enchanting table, was to make it craftable. And I've been at it. As you can see here, is I do have a recipe for it. This creates a interesting book because it's not the same as an enchanted book. It's its own unique book, and in fact it even changes when in your inventory. And this wasn't the first original plan to use this book. Truth is that you can't really make enchanted books come out of crafting recipes, at least in 1.20.1, which is the version that I'm using. It's of course a feature in 1.20.5, but I do not have access to that right now. In fact, I might even just look into that quickly. But the idea was not to actually even use the anvil, because this is also not able to be modified. My goal was to actually use the smithing table, and making it a little bit more expensive with the smithing template. It almost works, except this never gets the enchantment. And if you're wondering, I can't just do another recipe with the vein book in the crafting grid, because there's no way to tell this space here to have this enchantment as well as any that are already on this one, because at least this still keeps the enchantment. But unfortunately, I am extremely out of time for this episode. I'm just going to wrap it up here and try to figure out these enchantments either later down the line or maybe off camera. The next episode, I will be looking into trying to develop some other ideas, more tools. But that's it for now. Just make sure to hit the like button to let me know that you like this video. Subscribe if you want to know when I upload next. But other than that, I'll see you in the next episode.